Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be when the past catches up with the narcissist. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So the past, this is something the narcissist is frequently running away from. They don't want to have to look back in the past and realize all the relationships that they've blown up, realize all of the families that they've destroyed, all of the devastation they've implemented on people using the smear campaign, gaslighting, stonewalling, the silent treatment, rage fits, and so much more, triangulation. The narcissist, what they wanted to do when they met you is they looked at you as an opportunity. They looked at you as a person who could catapult them forward into a better existence. This is what they do. They go from person to person, place to place, business to business, relationship to relationship, looking to elevate their status, looking to acquire broken hearts, looking to acquire broken relationships, looking to acquire money and tangible assets. This is what they want to do. But if they had to pause for a minute and put one of their 3 smartphones down, let's say for a 24-hour period, and they couldn't talk with anybody, not one person on the planet. Let's just say they were on a desert island by themselves. Of course, they had food and water and shelter, but they did not have any internet access or nobody to talk with. This would be a very challenging 24-hour period for the narcissist. And I will tell you why. Because they would not be getting validation. They would not have a smartphone to occupy their time. They would not have dating apps or social media to make fake accounts with and stalk their former exes, or to look at other sources of supply or potential new supplies. They would have to be on that island by themselves, isolated, and they would have nothing to do but to think about their past life. This is what they would do. Now, would they think about the future? Maybe a little bit, but I doubt it, because I really believe with all of the destruction they've implemented throughout their existence, they would have to really introspect for that 24-hour period, and they'd have to say, wow, I really did some damage. And not only can I not face the facts, but I want to get off this island as quick as possible, because this is consuming me and this is not good. And what I'm used to doing, again, I'm acting like I'm the narcissist, but I'm not. What I'm used to doing is just being on the go, not sitting still, running around, using my smartphone, jumping in the car, going here, there, everywhere, making plans, breaking plans, doing whatever I want to do, because this is how I occupy my time, because I am a wrecking ball. And what I need to do is I need to minimize the reality of what has happened in the past, basically block it out. And I need to stay here and live for the moment, not live in the present moment like you are doing, and I certainly am doing. The narcissist lives for the moment. That's why, again, if they made plans with you in the past, and then let's say something better came along, many times they'll break the plans with you to do something that came along because it was more exciting or enticing to them, or maybe they didn't have to pay for it, or maybe it was something special that they could only do once in a while, and they got that opportunity. But they break plans left, right, and center. Many times they just flat out ghost you. But getting back to, as the thumbnail mentions, when the past comes back to the narcissist, this is not what they want to be doing. That's why if you were discarded, you did not get closure from the narcissist. You did not sit down, have that cup of coffee, and they revealed who they were, because they, number 1, did not want you to figure out who they were. Number 2, they wanted you reeling. They wanted you stuck. Number 3, they wanted you to not exit and or break the trauma bond. And number 4, they couldn't and can't and never will and won't give you closure, because for them to give you closure or to actually go back in time and discuss intelligently what happened in the relationship, that's not going to happen, because they would have to actually be accountable. And the narcissist is not accountable. What they do is they wear a mask to manipulate people and to get them to fall in love with them, or to get them to raise their kids for them, or to get them to put a roof over their head or start a business, or to give them money or pay for vacations, etc. This is what the narcissist does. So did the narcissist actually ever love you? No, they didn't. Did they love the new supply? Absolutely not. Is the new supply having a good time right now? They may think that they just won the lottery, or just found gold, or met the best person since sliced bread, but they're about to meet the same result that you met, only it's probably going to happen a little bit quicker, who knows. But the narcissist is incapable of love. They have no empathy, and they do not care about one person on the planet except for themselves. And when they have to go back and think about all of the relationships that they have broken and all of their poor behavior and what that has resulted in, meaning let's say they have kids, well, maybe by now the kids have moved far away from where the narcissist lives, and they want nothing to do with the narcissist. Maybe it's their mom or dad. Maybe it's both of their parents, who knows. This happens frequently. I hear it during sessions, and I know exactly what the mindset is of the children of the narcissist. The reason there is The children of the narcissist usually either A, turn out to be a narcissist, unfortunately, B, they are a golden child, well, those are interchangeable, or C, they're an empath, or D, they're indifferent. Point being, if any of those were you in the past, you know what I'm talking about, drop comments below. But when you get the wisdom, whether you are the child of a narcissistic parent or not, and you understand that this person you're thinking about is a narcissist or a toxic person, you want nothing to do with them. You need peace and tranquility in your life. You need distance and time and space. You need to slow your life down and process childhood wounds and understand that the person you are thinking about or the person you're in the relationship with, maybe it was a marriage, maybe it was your partner or your spouse. These people only get worse over time. They do not improve. They can't improve. And they don't want to be accountable for the past. They don't want to be accountable for the blown up relationship that you were a part of. Maybe it was a marriage. Let's say you married the narcissist. You were together for 5, 10, 20, 50 years. Well, the narcissist chipped away at you insidiously, day after day, week after week, month after month, and eventually one of 3 things happened. 1, you got discarded, which probably didn't happen if it was upwards of 50 years, but maybe. 2, you stayed trapped in the narcissistic fog and you did not even know what you were up against. You just thought that that's how a marriage was supposed to be. Or 3, you broke the cycle and the trauma bond and you escaped and you removed yourself from the relationship. But the third person is a very strong person. That doesn't happen that often because the other 2 usually are what happens, meaning you're discarded or you stay stuck in the narcissistic fog, trapped in that marriage. The point is the narcissist blew up relationships all around you, left, right, and center, with your own kids, your neighbors, your coworkers, your family members, your extended family members, your friends, your hobbies, your status, your health, everything that could blow up your finances, definitely. And they don't want to have to look back and be responsible or be accountable for what they have created, the devastation they've created, because this is how the narcissist goes from person to person, place to place, because they're not accountable and they can just effortlessly end a relationship like that and enter a new one just as quickly. That's what the new supply is. Remember, at one point you were the new supply. You were the person who thought you found pay dirt. What you found was a challenging, toxic relationship, and I'm being very kind with those words. That was a relationship that almost took you down for the count, but it didn't because you're here in the community. You're getting the wisdom, you're paying it forward if your cup is full, and you're understanding that you are the priority. You come first, second, and third. The narcissist didn't think you would heal. They didn't think you would find that needle in a haystack. They did not think you would discover who they were. They did not think you would see behind the mask. And when they do, when they finally realize that you saw behind the mask and you have boundaries, perhaps you've gone no contact, blocked them, deleted them, removed all flying monkeys and people associated with them. When you've done that, that sends a clear, succinct message to the narcissist that you have wised up. You get the message. You're applying the tools. You're insulating yourself. You cannot be broken down any longer. You now have boundaries in place. You are not a people pleaser. You are not a yes person. You are not falling for the mask. You now believe in yourself. You now know that you are the priority. You come first, second, and third. And you no longer will tolerate poor behavior from the narcissist or anybody similar to them. And bear in mind also, the narcissist, it's not just one person. They are a shapeshifter, an energy transformational individual, if you will. They vibrate lower than your shoe. And what happens there is they will come at you in all shapes and sizes throughout your life. It's not until you get the wisdom and you apply the tools that the narcissist cannot get to you any longer. Are you going to encounter them? Sure. Are you going to experience some poor behavior? Unfortunately, you will. But you now have the insulation and the tools so you can remove yourself from that situation or environment. You can utilize gray rock. Just become dull and boring and say, I'm sorry you feel that way. I understand. That's too bad. Things like that, and you move on. Because you will be on planes, you'll be on trains, you'll be in automobiles, you'll be in seminars, you'll be in class, you'll be in business meetings, and the narcissist will be there. Not the narcissist you're in the relationship with. I'm talking about a whole different one. And they will be looking at you and they'll be trying to figure out how they can get close to you and what they can learn about you. And will you overshare? Will you reveal yourself? But you don't do that these days because you're applying the wisdom. But as the thumbnail mentions, when the narcissist comes back to haunt when the past comes back to haunt the narcissist, this will happen. It's going to happen, and maybe even happening right now, because as the narcissist ages, and this is not a video about the aging narcissist, although I created a playlist on that, check it out. As the narcissist ages, their own children want nothing to do with them. Their former romantic relationships have either A, broken the trauma bond and they wised up and they blocked the narcissist, or B, they didn't get that needle in a haystack and maybe they are susceptible to a Hoover. But that's just not going to end good for them, because if you go back for more punishment from the narcissist, it usually is worse and worse over time. And then the other thing is, the people that were in the life of the narcissist, the besties, the friends of 10, 20, 30 years, Many of these people fade away for multiple reasons. One, they figure out that this person is always a complainer, or they always have drama in their life, or they always need help, or they need a sounding board, and they remove themselves. Or number two, these people actually leave the planet because no one is guaranteed to be here tomorrow, where no one's guaranteed to be here tomorrow, so people exit the planet every single day. My hope is that's not any of us anytime soon. But the thing is, the narcissist will be consumed by themselves and by their hollow, shallow memories of the past, of all the relationships they blew up, of the what ifs, of the potential, of the promise of all of the doors that were open to them in the past that they slammed shut after they went in and robbed you from everything they possibly could take from you. And then they closed that door and isolated you. And they threw you away like a sheet of paper on the freeway. This is what they do over and over and over again. It's a cycle. It's the loop. It's the narcissistic cycle. It is love bomb / devaluation stage. That's the first part. Second part, or love bomb euphoric stage, sorry. Second part's devaluation stage, when you're trapped in the narcissistic fog and you're working for the narcissist. And that's usually the longest part of the relationship. As a matter of fact, it almost always is. And then the third part is the discard, or the ending of the relationship. And at times there will be a fourth part, a hoover. And the hoover is when the narcissist is trying to draw you back into the relationship, even if it's for a few minutes, days, weeks, months, years, decades, but they're trying to get back to that source of supply, which was you, because they were missing it. They were missing what you provided, and they did not think you had healed, or they knew you hadn't healed, or they tested the water in the toe of disruption and you took a bite of the forbidden fruit and you went back to the relationship and you figured out that that did not end well, or it's not going well for you right now. But when the past comes back to haunt the narcissist, it will. Believe me when I tell you. Think about this. Every night when the narcissist has to go to bed, what do? Well, first of all, they have to wind themselves down by burning up the battery on all three of their smartphones. But when those batteries are dead and they have to plug them in, then they have to think about what they did that day, what they did in the past, why their own children won't talk to them, why the neighbors are catching on to who they are, how people in their business community that they're a part of are not giving them the business any longer because they want nothing to do with the toxic person, because they've wised up and they weren't treated properly, or perhaps because they got overcharged, whatever it would be. This is the life of the narcissist. The narcissist believes that they will never be figured out. They believe that the riddle will never be solved, the puzzle will never be put together, and that they could just go on effortlessly throughout life and just continue to change the mask that they wear, continue to change their intimate partners, continue to interchange their friends and their coworkers and colleagues and neighborhoods and everything. But the one constant in the narcissistic abusive cycle, it's themselves, it's the narcissist. And you were trapped in that cycle with them for a period of time, but you're not in it any longer. Are you healing? That's my hope. Have you healed? I certainly hope you have. But if not, you're on the healing path. And each and every day, it could be a challenge, but you're headed and working towards the pinnacle of indifference, the mountaintop of indifference, when you no longer care about the narcissist or any people from that period of time, because those people, whoever they were, flying monkeys or alleged friends or family members, whomever, they didn't check in on you. They didn't hear your side of the story. What they did is they took a bite of the toxic smear campaign from the narcissist, and they believed all the false rhetoric. But now they're realizing that actually they too were duped. They were hoodwinked and they were fooled. And the master manipulator, the narcissist, is not who they thought they were. They were actually the villain, if you will, and you were the innocent person, but that's not how you were painted. You were painted as the villain, I am certain, or you were painted in not a good light, because that's what the narcissist did behind your back throughout the relationship. They were instilling the smear campaign for the crescendo, for the ending, or for when the curtain fell down on your relationship. They knew this was going to happen. The narcissist knew that they would do their best to blow up your relationship. And what they want to do is they want to have the most impact on your life. And this too will come back to haunt the narcissist, believe me. When they discarded you, or when they discard people, usually it's around a holiday or a death in the family or a birth in the family or a pivotal event. You just lost your job or your health took a hit or something. And this is why the narcissist does what they do, because they want to inflict the most damage upon you. And that's how they do it, because they don't leave like a healthy, stable ending of a relationship. Meaning they don't sit down and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to take this mask off. I'm going to show you who I am. And I'm sorry, I apologize for doing all these things to you. I just can't help myself because I'm a toxic person. Never going to happen. They're going to run the other way and act like it never happened. And what are they going to do? They're going to try and wipe the past clean and start fresh and start anew. That is why so frequently you will notice that the narcissist has people that enter their lives for a period of time, then they're kicked to the curb, and then they come back like they're besties again, because that's what the narcissist does. They recycle people. And so many times, people ask me this question during one-on-one sessions: does the narcissist, can they be with another narcissist romantically, or can narcissists cohabitate together? Absolutely they can. And they just take turns abusing each other. That's what they do. And that's why many times you will hear a fallout between two people, and you know one of them is a challenging person or a toxic person, and then they're like, yeah, I'll never talk to that person again, never gonna happen. And then a week later, they're hanging out with that person. You're like, what's going on here? What's going on here is they now buddied up with them again because they're getting supply, and they can erase their memory so quickly and so easily. That's what they do. That's exactly why the narcissist will always go on to the new supply or other sources of supply. They will never be accountable, and that's why the past will come back to haunt them. So as I mentioned earlier, when the narcissist, when they go to bed at night, they have to think about what they did. They have to be accountable for a split second in their mind, because that is true. That's what they do. And then they say, okay, no, that's it. That's too painful. Don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I'm going to fall asleep as quickly as I can because I burned up my energy, because I was awake for 23 and a half hours today, running around all over the globe, destroying people's lives. So I'll get my 30 minutes of sleep and I'll start again tomorrow. But I don't want to be alone in my own mind. That's why I need to be distracted. That's why I need to have music blasting. That's why I need to smash cupboards and doors. And that's why I need multiple smartphones. And that's why I need to always be on the go. That's why I can't sit still. The narcissist cannot sit still. You need to understand this. These people are on a constant quest for supply, whether it's on a cell phone call, a Zoom call, in person, driving, walking a pet. The narcissist gets supply from anything, and now you're getting the wisdom, you're applying the tools. You need to understand that the narcissist will one day understand that when their own kids don't talk to them, their own friends are blocking them out, the people in the community they live in want nothing to do with them. When they understand this, they're gonna say, yeah, I made my bed, I've got to lie in it. They're gonna do it for a split second. It's gonna be painful. And then what are they gonna do? They're gonna go look for other sources of supply, because the cycle, it must go on and on and on. And as long as you are removed from the cycle, you are in a much better place. Now, if the relationship ended for you recently, you may be thinking, wow, I really miss the narcissist. I care about them, and etc. I understand that. That means you have a lot of work ahead of you. And in time, in your time, you will understand and get the message that going no contact with these people is the path. You should want nothing to do with them, but you most likely will have to break the trauma bond, and that's going to take a mountain of work. But again, I did it. If I did it, you can do it. Anything is possible on this planet. But I'll tell you right now, living narcissist-free is the path. Living drama-free is the path. Living toxicity-free is the path. Living an abundant, beautiful, bright light, shining light life is the path. Having your energy for yourself is the path. Not being an energy receptacle, an energy vampire for the narcissist, meaning not having somebody call you up and ask you for money, or call you up and say, can you give me a ride, or call you up and moaning because they have a hangnail. No, there's no room for these people anymore in our lives. We understand we're getting the message, or we have already received the message. These people took advantage of us for a period of time until we got the wisdom, until we found that needle in a haystack. Now it's our time. We need to remove ourselves from these toxic relationships, and we need to insulate and protect ourselves and save our energy, our effort, and our love and our empathy for those loved and trusted ones around us. And if right now we don't have loved and trusted ones around us, because there are people like that, I get it. Focus on yourself. Focus your energy on yourself. You will get through this. Believe me when I tell you, if you focus on yourself and drown out the narcissist and really understand that they tried to take you down for the count, but they failed, and when your cup is full, you will understand that that's the best thing that's ever happened to you, which was leaving the relationship. Understand the message. Everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. Remember that. You are not alone. I love you all. God bless you. Keep in mind, you need to understand the narcissist never had your best interest at heart. If you want to live a fruitful and peaceful and abundant life, it needs to be narcissist-free. Get the message. Once you've identified that someone is a toxic person, really try to get as far away from them as possible, and don't fall for their false rhetoric. Don't believe the nonsense. Don't believe their victimness or their health is ailing or all that. They made their bed. They need to lie in it. When you were working for the narcissist in that relationship, they never lended you a hand. They never did anything to build you up. They try to tear you down. So now if they're coming at you from the victim angle, that's their problem. They need to look elsewhere for assistance, because you have the wisdom. You need to apply the tools. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right. Bye, you guys. And it is beautiful today. I mean, beautiful. Bye.